Hi everyone, this is Scott Davis. I'm the instructor for your Bio 139 class this second half of our summer semester. This is going to be a video walkthrough that serves as an orientation for our class, gives you an idea of how our class will be structured and how to find everything in our class. Now, since you are in Bio 139, I assume that you are pretty familiar with Blackboard and MyPath and all that, but I am going to present this as if you are not. So some of the stuff that I talk about, especially at the beginning of this video, might not necessarily be for you, but I still encourage you to watch everything because there's going to be some very important information in this video that will answer the most common questions. And during the first week or two of class, practically every question that I get from semester to semester is the same. So I do try to address all of that in this video. So by watching it, you'll answer a lot of the questions that you might not even realize yet that you have. So there's a couple of ways that you'll be able to get to this video that I'm recording right now. One way is once you are inside of our Blackboard class, it's going to be one of the very first things there. So maybe that's how you got to this video. But I'm also going to send it in an announcement to everybody's email. So chances are that's how you got this video link. But regardless of which way you get to it, I'm going to present it as if you don't know how to find our class and get you there. Now, there are a few different ways to get to our class, to get to Blackboard, but here is how you should get to Blackboard every time, because when we take our quizzes, when we take our exams, and even sometimes our homework platform, Mastering AMP, and some of the other Pearson products, they don't recognize if you go to Blackboard directly. So one of the best things you could do is get in the habit of going to Blackboard this way every time. So up at the top where your address bar is, we're going to type in mypath.kctcs.edu, and that's going to take you to MyPath. It's actually going to redirect you to something called SharePoint. So you could also enter this address that I'm highlighting, but mypath.kctcs.edu I think is easier to remember. And it will bring you to this page. And if you're not familiar with MyPath, it is kind of the jumping off platform for everything BCTC. And yours won't look exactly like mine because I've got some instructor's tools here, but yours will look very, very similar to this. And two important things here. One is Blackboard and one is email. Please get in the habit of checking your email at least once a day. More than once a day is even better. But everything that goes through Blackboard is also going to go to your email, so it's a good idea to check email regularly. But here's how we get to our class. You're going to go to MyPath, and then here we're going to click Blackboard Learn, and that takes us to Blackboard. And like I said, if you get to Blackboard another way, for example, if you were to just type this address in the top bar, it would still take you to Blackboard. But chances are your exam is going to have an error partway through. Your quiz is going to have an error partway through. So don't do that, because if you have an error partway through your exam, there's a real good chance that it won't be fixed in time and it will affect your exam grade. So over on the left, there's a lot of different things, but one thing that we want to click on here is where it says courses. And it will bring up a list of all of your Blackboard courses that are active or recent or upcoming. And the one that we are interested in is Blackboard BLC 4242 Bio 139 merged. That's what the MER is. 19Z5, 19Z6. That's our class. And when you click it the very first time, it's not going to look like what you see here. I'm actually going to show you what you will see. when you first come to Blackboard. You're going to see this, and not a whole lot is there because there are going to be some things that you have to do before the rest of the class gets unlocked. First, you have to go through the quick introduction to Blackboard. Then you have to go through all of the Start Here material, and there's a lot. Start Here contains all of the stuff needed for our class, but that is not actual class content. And then some additional developmental opportunities. These are things that are study tools that are not required, but they're really, really handy. When we take our final exam, it will be here. So this is what you want to take care of before going on to the rest of our class. So let's go through and see what everything in the Start Here module is. Start Here, like I said, these are the things that you want to do to unlock our course. They are things that are not class content, but they are important for our class. So when you click it, it's going to expand. First, there is a pre-course assessment. This is set up kind of like a quiz. It's not for points, so don't worry if you don't know everything. But this is going to find out, are you where you need to be before starting Bio 139? And if not, it gives you an idea of topics that you might want to refresh on from Bio 137 before diving into our class content. Next, videos to watch before starting classwork. This is where the video that you're watching right now is going to be housed. Remember I said that it will be on Blackboard and sent to your email? Well, this is going to be inside this folder. Also, there's something, watch this short video before the first day of class. This is a second video that you do want to watch, and I will give you a hint. It has nothing to do with anatomy or physiology, but it's an important video to watch. Course expectations and weekly requirements. This is very important in that it gives you an idea of what to expect in our class. Now, not only is this a really, really tough class, it has a lot more information than Bio 137, and the topics are more challenging. It's packed into a 6-week format in the summer. It's typically a 16-week class. We condense it into 6 weeks. We do not cut anything out. We just move faster. So there's going to be something to do every single day this semester. There are going to be at least one exam per week. Most weeks there will be more than one exam, and that does not include quizzes and homeworks. So this gives you an idea of how to be successful in our class. If you work full-time, if you have children that you care for full-time, you are still going to be expected to keep up with this class, so you want to set a schedule early so that you can keep up, because this is not a class that you can catch up. Once a due date passes, that due date is gone. It cannot be extended for any reason. So I recommend getting some sort of scheduler, some sort of place where you can write down due dates and write down lecture videos when you're supposed to watch them. That way you know that you are staying on top of everything. Course overview. So this gives you an idea of the generalities of the course. Here are the course prefix, BIO, section, or course numbers, Bio 139. We are sections 19Z5 and 19Z6. There are 2 sections combined here. You have to have completed Bio 137 with a C or higher for a program, or with a D or higher just to get into the class. Some why this course matters, what we are doing in the course. This is both a lecture and a lab course, so it tells you both what we're doing in lecture and what we're doing in lab. The course competencies that you will get out of taking this class. Class materials, since this is an online class, practically everything is related to being able to access the internet and have a reliable device. One thing I will say, first, you have to have a reliable internet. If your internet goes down, it is your responsibility to find a location that has internet. So if your internet goes down, that does not mean that you will get an extension on anything. It means that you might need to travel to find some reliable internet. A computer or a laptop. Tablets do not work for our exams or for our homework, so you do need an actual desktop computer or laptop computer. You need to be able to run Respondus Lockdown Browser. That's our proctoring program. So part of the start here is going to be loading Respondus. I'll show you that in just a little bit. And you need to have a good webcam and a microphone because these are used during exams. So you must have not just a computer or a laptop. That computer or laptop must have a webcam and a microphone, and it must be connected to reliable internet. You have a digital textbook as part of your registration for this class. If you want to get a physical copy of the textbook, that is not required, but this is the information for that physical textbook. Syllabus and lecture course schedule. So this is our syllabus for the class. This is the schedule from that syllabus. It is very long. There's a lot there, but I will open up our syllabus and do just a quick walkthrough. I'm not going to read the syllabus to you. You can do that on your own, but I am going to point out some important things from this syllabus. Here's, again, my name, Scott Davis. I really prefer Scott. I understand that some people are not comfortable calling their professor by their first name, but if you are, please just call me Scott. I want to be approachable. I don't see myself as above you. I'm just your teacher. I am not above you in any way, so please feel free to call me Scott. I encourage you to. I want to develop a friendly relationship with everyone in the class. Email scott.davis@kctcs.edu. That's one way to reach me. A better way to reach me is by text. This is my personal cell phone number. I give it to everybody so that they can get in touch with me quickly. I encourage you to text me when you have a question because email, sometimes it might take me a day or so to get back to you. Usually it's same day, but sometimes it might take a day or so. Text, unless I am asleep or eating dinner or in the shower, I will get back to you within just a couple of minutes. And if you find someone who's taken my class before, you'll ask them how quick does he respond. Sometimes it's within seconds because my phone notifies me as soon as I have a text. If you're a student that likes to study overnight or on the weekend or on holidays or whatever, I don't take time off. Text me when you have a question. If it's at night or if I am otherwise busy, my phone will be on silent, so it's not going to bother me. It's not going to interrupt me. It's not going to wake me up. It just means I'll be a little longer before I get back to you. But please use my text if you are comfortable with that, because that is the quickest way to reach me. In the summer, I don't have actual scheduled office hours, so we can just, whenever you have a question, or if you need to meet, we can meet virtually by Teams, because most of the time I'm not on campus in the summer. The course leader for online Bio 139 is Victoria Thompson. Here is her contact information. The biology area coordinator, I am one of them until the end of summer. And then Dr. Sheldon Sharp is the other, also until the end of summer. In the summer, our assistant dean, who is above all of us, above me, above Victoria Thompson, above Sheldon Sharp, this is Jackie Wiseman. Jackie Wiseman is the assistant dean in the summer. Course description, again, that course outline telling us what we're doing in lecture and in lab, which if you took Bio 137, Bio 139, it's not a deeper look at that material. Bio 139 is just the second half of the class. Think of it as one long class, and now we're in part 2. So we're using most of the second half of the textbook. Attendance and participation were online, but you're still expected to participate, to attend the class. And attendance means accessing the course regularly. Blackboard tells me when you were on, how long you were on, what you did when you were on. So it's expected that you treat this just like an in-person class. You don't have to be online at any certain time, but you do have to be online to watch the videos, to do the homework, to take the exams and all that. If you miss 20% or more of labs by not attending the lab, watching the videos, or by not completing the activities, that's considered missing lab. So if you miss 3 or more labs in a 16-week semester, which is not us, if you miss 2 or more labs in an 8-week semester or a 6-week semester, 6 weeks is us, then regardless if they are excused or not, you will automatically receive an E for the entire Bio 139 course. So make sure to do those labs. Attendance verification. During the first week of class, I know that it can be a little hard to find your way around and such, but if you are not active by Tuesday, the second week of class, you are considered a no-show and you'll be dropped from the roster. Now, the no-show verification assignment is going to be in Start Here. I will show you where that is. So you have to do this. Even if you've done other work in the class, if you don't do the no-show assignment, which actually unlocks the class, then that is going to be considered a no-show, and you'll be dropped from the roster. Academic integrity policy. Okay, so what you will start to learn about me pretty quickly is I like to make learning fun. I like to joke around. I use a lot of memes. I joke a lot in my lectures. I try to make a difficult class fun to attend. When you text me or email me, sometimes I will joke around with you. But one thing that I do not joke about is cheating. I want you to treat this class seriously. I want you to learn the material, not learn how to look up the material, not learn how to cheat to get a good grade. I want you to learn the material. It's my job to teach the material. It's your job to let me know when I'm not teaching it well. All that said, when it comes exam time or quiz time, you will be proctored. If you are caught cheating, I don't mess around. I will give you a 0, an E, for the entire course. No ifs, ands, or buts. So please don't cheat. Learn the material and you won't have to. Make sure to ask questions when you're not learning the material, so that way you don't have to. You do not want to cheat. Our proctoring material is very, very good. You will get caught. That's not a challenge. That is me saying it's not worth it. Class communications and email policy. I've already shown you my email, but again, text is the better way to reach me. If you text me, I'll get back to you very, very quickly. Remote proctoring, that's that Respondus that I talked about, Respondus Lockdown Browser. I'll talk about that when we get to it and Start Here. Lecture videos. You're going to be watching the same lecture videos that are the lectures that I would give in an in-person class. So by taking this class online, you're not missing out on anything. I give the same lectures to my computer to record a video that I do to my classroom when it's an in-person class. You are expected to watch them. You will not be able to pass this class if you just read the book or just look at the outline. In the lecture videos, I record what I want you to know. I provide you lecture videos and then outlines that go along with them that you want to fill out when you're watching the videos. I provide the PowerPoints that are presented in the lecture videos if you want those. Graded class components. This just tells you everything that we do for a grade in this class. And then here's some information about the lab exercises and the lab practical exams. Some information about what to do if you miss something in the class. For the most part, there is no makeup. So don't miss anything. If you do need to miss something, this tells you what can and cannot be made up and how it is made up. We don't offer extensions. We offer substitutions in some cases. This is how the course grade is calculated. I will show you how you know exactly what your grade is at any given moment. Please do not ask me what your grade is, because I don't calculate your grade until midterm and then again at finals. So I don't know your course grade, but I will show you how you can know your course grade. Withdrawal policy. You can withdraw up to the Friday after midterm. After that, only in extenuating circumstances can you withdraw. You cannot withdraw just because you're not doing well in the class after the Friday after midterm. Friday after midterm is the deadline. So here is our course schedule. We're divided into blocks. Block 1 is everything that's going to be on exam 1. Block 2 is everything that's going to be on exam 2. Block 3 is everything that's going to be on exam 3. But also, each exam is slightly cumulative. So when we get to block 3, lecture exam 3 is going to focus on block 3. But it will also have a little bit of block 2 and block 1 material on it. So that keeps you looking back at older material, making sure you're ready for the final exam. We move fast in the summer. Every single week, at the end of the week, we have a lecture exam. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when you are watching the lecture videos and doing the quizzes and homeworks. Friday and Saturday is when the lecture exam opens and closes. Then the next week, same thing again. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're doing the lecture videos. We're doing the quizzes. We're doing the mastering assignments, the homework. Friday, Saturday, lecture exam. Weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When we get to week 6, that's the week of our final exam. So there is no new material presented that week. We have 5 blocks. 1 block per week, so we move incredibly quickly. And then every Friday the exam opens, every Saturday the exam closes. Everything in our class, homework, quiz, lecture exam, lab practical, they're always due at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's our lab schedule. Labs, we do 2 labs a week. In some cases, 3 labs a week. But then we also have our lab practical exams. Lab ends during week 5. There is no lab during week 6. All right, so that is our syllabus for lecture and lab. Course instructor and communication information, that's something that we've gone over a few times now. Again, Scott, that's what I prefer. If you are not comfortable with that, you can call me Mr. Davis, professor, instructor, whatever you want to call me. But I prefer Scott if you're comfortable with that. Cell phone for text, that's the quickest way to get in touch with me. I will not answer phone calls, so don't call the phone number. But I will get right back with you if you text. This is my office number. This is the worst way to reach me because, like I said, I'm never in my office in the summertime. This is my office on Newtown campus, but again, I'm not there. Oh, one real quick thing about this. Please do not use Blackboard messages. Blackboard messages does not tell me when I get messages. It's up to me to just notice it, and sometimes that can be a week before I notice it. Please don't use Blackboard messages. Use email or text. Netiquette, how to talk to the professor. I'm not real strict on that, but I will say If you send me an email or a text that says, hey, when's the homework due? I teach several classes. I have no idea when your homework is due. You'll have to be very specific. Hi, I'm taking your course, Bio 139, the second half of summer. Can you tell me when mastering chapter 18 is due? Or something like that. But if you're asking me when something's due, you know what I'm going to do really? I'm going to tell you, I don't know, look in the syllabus. Because everything is in the syllabus. Grading and feedback policy. I get stuff graded very quickly. Sometimes when there's a lot of written material, it might take me a little longer, but I get stuff graded quickly. Grade calculator. Here we go. So this is how to know your exact grade anytime. I don't know your exact grade. I know it at midterm, and I know it at final. Any other time, if you write to ask me what is your grade, I'm going to tell you I don't know. What is your grade? Because you can tell me when you click that, you want to download it. You don't just want to open it. You want to download it so that you can modify it. This is what it is. This looks really scary. I know it does. But once you figure out what it is that you're looking at, it's not intimidating at all. It does all of the math for you. All of these pink boxes, that's really all you're concerned with. Every time you do anything for a grade, whether it's a lecture exam, your final exam, one of the block quizzes, one of the mastering assignments, a lab practical, a lab exercise. It says exercises and quizzes, but we just call them worksheets. Every time you do something for a grade, you're going to get your grade, and then you're going to type your grade into a pink box. Ignore the green boxes. They do what they need to do automatically. Let's say you take your first quiz and you get a 9. Type a 9 there. Look, you got a 9 out of 10. It automatically populated it. So every time you do it, type your answer or type your score into the pink box. Once you've done something in lecture and something in lab, the big yellow box is going to show your grade. Until you've done something in lecture and lab, the big yellow box doesn't say much. But once you've done something in lecture and something in lab, the big yellow box is your grade. But if we scroll down, there's two important things here. You only get one grade for Bio 139, but we calculate your lecture score and we calculate your lab score, and whatever your lab score is, whatever your lecture score is, those have to be 60% or higher without rounding. We're not permitted to round individual course components. If you have a 59.3, that's 59.3. That is not 60. So you have to have 60 or higher. If either of these is below 60, then it doesn't matter what's in the big yellow box. That's an automatic failure for the course. But again, these automatically do the math for you. Every time you do something for a grade, put it in the pink box where it goes, and you know what your grade is in the class. So that is the grade calculator. Day one checklist. These are the things that you should do before the first day of class. And most of it you're doing as you go through the start here, but there's also stuff for you to print out after start here. Technology assistance and troubleshooting if you need to contact someone from Blackboard or something like that. Quiz and exam rules. Read this prior to every quiz and every exam. Right here. If there is trouble during your quiz, if there is trouble during your exam, this tells you what to do. If you have trouble and you don't do this, you are stuck with whatever grade you got, even if it's a 0. You have to do this, and I tell you to read it before every quiz, before every exam. That way, you have it fresh in your head. Even at the end of the semester, when you've read this 10 times, 12 times, whatever, read it again. That way it's fresh in your head when you get ready to take that quiz or exam. Instructions and guidelines for Respondus browser. So Respondus Lockdown Browser. This is what we use for proctoring. Once you've read this and know what to expect, this guy right here, Respondus Lockdown Browser Test No-Show Assignment. This, once you complete it and get a perfect score, that unlocks the rest of the class. But the very first time you click this, unless you already have Respondus Lockdown Browser installed on your computer, this is going to install it. So let it install unless it's already there, in which case you don't need to do that. As soon as you click this, it will just open the quiz if you've already installed it. Why can't I see anything in the class? Well, that's because you haven't taken the no-show assignment through Lockdown Browser and gotten a perfect score. Once you do, you'll be able to see the rest of the class. And lastly, help. Respondus is not letting me take my quiz or exam. Or help. Mastering isn't loading correctly. Well, when we click that, here are the rules that you need to follow to make it work, to make Respondus work or to make mastering work. And they're the things that I told you to begin with. First, if you're on a computer or a laptop, use Firefox. If you're on a MacBook or a Chromebook, use Chrome. Those are the only two things that you want to do. Firefox on a computer or laptop, Chrome on a Mac or a Chromebook. If you don't use them, you will have problems. I ask you to send me pictures. I will tell you 99% of the time when someone sends me a picture, what I see is down here. See how I'm using Firefox? You're going to be using something like Edge. Edge does not work. Maybe it will work now and then, but do you really want to risk now and then on a class that you paid good money for? No, you don't. Firefox. Unless it's a MacBook or a Chromebook, in which case, Chrome. Open your browser, clear your browser cache and your browser history. Close your browser. Open it again. Go to My Path. Remember we talked about My Path. Then click the Blackboard tile. Don't go directly to Blackboard. Go to My Path and click Blackboard. Then click Courses over on the left. Then click to enter our class. Then open whatever it was you were trying to work on, and ta-da, it works. This is what you want to do every time you're doing something in our class. All right, so now we've gone through all of the Start Here stuff. Once we've done that, the rest of the class will open. And you will see Block 1. You won't see Block 2 yet. It will open when we get near the end of Block 1. But they were all going to look the same, so I'm going to show you what one of our blocks looks like. Block 1 is the endocrine system. There's going to be an overview for whatever block it is, in which case I tell you why it's important, what we're going to be looking at, what we're going to be getting out of that block, and the calendar that you should be sticking to during that block. Week 0 is everything prior to the start of class. Week 1, this is what we're doing the first week of class. Activities, so things in lecture that are for a grade and what day they're due. Lecture content. This is the stuff that you really, really want to get to. Up here is going to be a course outline. Let me open it up. I provide course outlines. They are not required. They are recommended, but they're not required. You're not going to turn them in. They're not for a grade. I'll never know if you do them or not until I look at your exams and see if you did really well or really poorly. But these go along with the lecture videos. As you watch the lecture videos, these follow along. The better way to do it, though, is as you read the chapter, fill out the outline. Most of the time it goes along with the chapter in order. Not always. Sometimes you'll be skipping around the chapter because some chapters go in kind of a weird order that doesn't make it easy to learn. So I rearrange the chapter and make it a little easier to learn. But fill this out as you read, then watch the lecture video and fill out anything that you missed. All right. So there will be one of these for every chapter that we do. Again, you do not turn them in to me. You just fill them out for your own study. PowerPoints. These are the PowerPoints that I use in the lecture videos. There are some slides missing because I want to make sure that you're actually watching the lecture videos. And then these are the links to our lecture videos. And again, this says week 1, week 2, week 3. These are actually all week 1, so I'm going to change that now. These are all week 1 lecture videos. You will watch those as you fill out your outline. And then once you're done with them, that takes you up to the first exam. Mastering Chapter 16. Block 1 discussion. Every block has a discussion board. It is not a typical discussion board. This is a place where you can form study groups or ask questions from each other. I am not active on the discussion boards. I just pop in every now and then to make sure everyone's being respectful. Block 1 quiz. When it is active, it will be here. You will not be able to see it until it's active. Block 1 wrap-up. So each block has a wrap-up area. There's going to be 3 things in that wrap-up area. There's going to be a practice. So these are things that you can do, but they're not for any points. They're just practice. They're very helpful. There's going to be a bonus assignment. Again, this is not required, but if you click this, it's going to open a document. You're going to complete that document, and then you are going to, however you do it, you can write on the paper, take a picture of it. You can type on it if you download it to your computer. You can, however you want to do it, just get some sort of file with your answers and upload it right here. And it will get you 2 points added to your lecture exam. 2 points is not a lot. It's not about the points. It's about using this as a study tool. And then when our exam is active, it will also be in the wrap-up area. All right. Every single block is going to be laid out the same way. An overview, the lecture content, the mastering assignment or assignments, an optional discussion board. When the quiz is active, it will be there. There will be a practice not for points. There will be a bonus assignment, optional, but worth 2 points if you do it, and an exam. Every lecture block is going to be the same way. But we also have a lab portion of the course. The lab portion of the course is laid out very similar to a lecture block. So, getting started with online lab. There's going to be a lab overview. The lab overview has a lab manual right here. This lab manual has everything that we're going to be doing in lab. Download the lab manual. This goes along with our labs. There's a lab 1. You do the lab 1, then you do the lab worksheet. There's going to be some links to click. There's going to be some activities to do. Optional help. For our models, if you use this Pearson.com, the PAL, Practice Anatomy Lab, if you use that, you can practice labeling the models. Here's our lab in order. There may or may not be a separate lab walkthrough. Since I'm going through it here, I'm probably not going to record a separate lab walkthrough because I'm going to hit everything that would be in it in this video. So this probably will not be there. Lab practical exams. When a practical exam is active, it will be found in this folder. Practice Anatomy Lab. This is that same thing that we just looked at up here. This is just a study area for the models. And then each couple of days, one of these will open. Lab exercise 1 is going to have a video to watch. It's going to have a worksheet to submit. Lab exercises, you are allowed to use resources. You can use your lab manual, you can use your textbook, you can use whatever you need. But lab practical exams, those are tests, so you cannot use any resources on those. Each of these will be open for 2 days, so make sure to work on it during those 2 days. When we get to our final exam, it will be active in this folder. Mastering Anatomy and Physiology student links. So here are things like how to get to our mastering course home, but you don't need any of this really. The only thing you need here is the e-text and then the optional study area. So I'm going to go ahead and make these visible, but all of the other stuff you don't really need, because mastering course home, you can get to the stuff other ways. What you'll do is you will, up here in block 1, when you want to do a homework, you're just going to click directly on Mastering Chapter 16. You can also get to it at the Mastering Course Home, but there's a few extra clicks involved, so there's no real need to. All right, I know that was kind of a long video. That was a lot of information. It's much more important to, as soon as you're watching this video, as soon as you're done with it, go through the course and look to see, can you find everything? But when you're thinking about how do I keep track of what's due, well, you can find those in several places. You can find them first at the back of the syllabus. There's a section for lecture and a second section for lab that shows you when everything is due. Also, up here across the top, if you go to calendar and click on month, it will show you what's due every single day. And remember, everything that's due is always due at midnight or 11:59 p.m. except for, let's see, go to July, except for the final exam. The final exam has an earlier due time and it's only available for 1 day. That is on your syllabus, so make sure to make a note of that. But what I would do is either get used to checking this calendar every day or get your own little calendar book with a scheduler that you can put due dates in. All right, so that's it for our class. Like I said, I know that's a lot. Poke around in the class, get used to the layout. You won't see hardly any of this until you get through that Respondus practice quiz. Once you do that and you get a perfect score, the rest of the class becomes visible. All you will see is endocrine and lab. The other blocks, block 2, block 3, block 4, they open right about the time that we get to that point in lecture. All right, please get used to contacting me when you have questions. Email me, text me is best. Get used to that, because I promise I want to make this class as easy on you as possible, since it is a tough class. I want you to be challenged by the material, but I want to make sure that you understand the material, and it's my job to explain it. So if the lecture videos don't explain it, text me, email me, ask me for some clarification. All right, take care. I hope to hear from you soon. Depending on when you watch this video, class will be beginning very soon if it's not already. Class begins on Monday. Oh gosh, what day of the week or what day of the month is it? It will be Monday the 24th will be our first day of class. All right, but feel free to get started. The mastering assignments, all of that, you can do it early. Okay, so take care, reach out anytime, and I will talk to you soon.